Welcome to this Godmode Pro analysis session. Sit back, grab a snack, and relax as you absorb the juicy game sense as we study how TenZ dominates Radiant ranked as Reyna. So let's begin, starting from the defender side. Before we press play, let me spill the beans. Here is a surefire way to prepare before each round from defender side. Create a rapid game plan by asking yourself these three questions. How might the enemies attack? How are my teammates defending? How can I play to have the most impact this round? Let's quickly map out a game plan before we press play, starting with how might the enemies attack. We should be thinking about two topics here: the economy and team composition. In terms of economy, since it's pistol round, it's extremely likely that enemies will do a 5-man execute off the rip. So we can assume that it's a good idea to play for early info and be prepared to rotate fast. Looking at their team comp, it's clear that they have a very strong team for fast executes.
Bunch of guys here.
Let's imagine how they are likely to approach a hard A hit. We expect Skye to flash these angles to give her team opportunities to take space. It's also very common for Skye to walk up to this corner and dog, so she can clear all the corners in short and stun anyone playing U-Haul. Then the entry fraggers Jet and Raze will capitalize on this and use their movement abilities to quickly contest for U-Haul and front sight control. Meanwhile, their Brimstone will pop all of his smokes at once and give his teammates an additional movement speed increase with his stim beacon. Chamber might go with his team at short, but there is a good chance that he will decide to go late showers. Now that we have a rough idea of how the enemies will attack, we can make a more informed decision of where and how to play. But before that, we should first see how our teammates are thinking of playing. We can see here that our Raze is aware of the danger of a likely A-hit and is already playing for early info. We can tell what our Raze is thinking by how he's lining up his nade. Raze is also expecting Skye to walk up and dog short. If Raze sees anything, he'll throw his nade deep and do a lot of early damage. Alternatively, if he doesn't see anything, he'll throw his nade through the teleporter and shoot enemies contesting hookah in the back. Now it's up to us to adapt to our Raze's positioning. In this specific circumstance, we should look to set up on a passive angle with good cover, prepared to rotate if Raze doesn't see anyone or support him if he gets pushed by the entry fraggers. Some good options are playing lamps to break Skydog, so our Raze can get to cover and deny enemies info, or playing backside to eventually set up a crossfire between lamps and front showers. Both of these options are good, because you can hold off angles, play anti-flash, disengage easily, and most importantly take up space that makes it super awkward for attackers to plant. Let's see what happens in the VOD. Notice here how TenZ already starts to rotate because he didn't hear a flash at short, but quickly repositions to front showers once we see Skye's dog. He peeks out to catch kills on enemies contesting U-Haul and sees Raze, but he makes the decision to push into the shower's smoke. This might not have been the best play considering he lets his Raze get overwhelmed at U-Haul by both the enemy Jet and Raze, who have their backs turned to front showers.
Jet's up, Raze up.
Raze is 1 HP.
Pushing showers here is very unpredictable, as the enemies have already seen TenZ backsite in their minimaps and assume TenZ is fighting for site control.
There's TP. Okay, let's just go through together. Ready? Flash it, flash it, flash it.
TenZ calls for a flash here to instantly pop flash anyone holding in TP.
One to the left, one to the left.
Can you kill the left guy?
It's very likely that enemies already in hookah will turn around to fight TP, so TenZ holds for the swing, while his teammates double peek the brim.
Nice.
Healing over here. Spike planted. Spike planted.
TenZ jumps out aggressively here to find a 1v1 before his overheal runs out, trying to take full advantage of Reyna's kit. If he killed Jet here, he would dismiss to avoid getting traded and scale up further onto site to put pressure on Sky.
On the left.
One enemy remaining.
Good job.
Round 2. Since we won the pistol round, the enemies are most likely going to save. This means they will have little to no armor or guns to attack with. If enemies play correctly, we can predict that they will play default and try to lurk up as far as possible to catch defenders making mistakes. We need to remember that as defenders, losing a 1v1 is very punishing. Not only are you giving enemies a gun, you are opening a hole in your team's defense. This means someone else on your team will have to rotate to fill the gap you left and will likely be forced into a disadvantageous duel or be forced to retreat off of the entire site to avoid getting surrounded.
Wait, can you hold shower?
Oh, you got it. I'm rotating. Yep.
Here we see TenZ rotating early as Sky finds people at B long.
Should I rotate then?
I think it's fine right now.
Like hookah hallway.
It looks like Sky and Cypher have given up control over Hookah and Octagon and have decided to play on site. Considering that Cypher utility is the only thing stopping attackers from taking site, this might be a big mistake.
Now they're in.
One hookah, one hookah.
Yeah, I'll rotate.
Since attackers have taken Hookah and Long practically for free without losing a single soul, they are now beginning to clear the angles on site to find duels against defenders. Cypher decides to swing Octagon and gets one tapped. Not good. Once Cypher is dead, all of his utility is useless and the site is now vulnerable. Sky tries to trade Cypher and takes a disadvantaged fight. TenZ doesn't really have a choice here, except to peek into an unknown number of players at Long to avoid a retake scenario on B.
50.
Let's analyze how and why this easy round was lost. Most people would blame Cypher for peeking and dying instead of playing off of his utility to hold the site. However, there was a much bigger issue that caused defenders to lose this round. Let's break it down. Since Hookah is smoked and Cypher is elbow watching the drop, the correct play from here would be to take long-range fights at either Hookah or B long with superior weapons such as the Marshal, Guardian or Bulldog. However, the reason why TenZ is helpless in this scenario is because he only has a Sheriff, similar to our Sky, who also didn't buy. We see both of these players playing overly passive, hesitant to challenge for space. This leaves Cypher, who has the only real gun, to carry B-site defense on his shoulders. Not upgrading guns is a textbook mistake, which TenZ usually compensates for with Gamesense and aim. However, there are situations such as this where it can be extremely punishing. If TenZ bought a Marshal this round, he could have easily held control over Hookah and B long, as it's unlikely that attackers would have any body armor on their save round. Round 3. From what we can tell from the economy, attackers have a full buy and will likely do a 5-man push onto a single site to avoid giving defenders any guns. TenZ and Sky once again decide to not coordinate their loadouts with the team and buy rifles instead of saving.
I'm gonna hold short. I'm assuming they're gonna do some shit if they're actually going in.
Nothing long.
I just walked through this.
As the round starts, we see that defenders are playing for early info once again, very risky considering that attackers have superior weapons. A better play would be to sit on off angles or one-and-done corners. Sky flashes B long and finds nothing with his bird, so starts to rotate immediately, assuming that attackers are playing contact up A. Our Cypher notices that Sky didn't flash anyone long, so he immediately starts to flank, attackers hitting A. Very good pacing by our Cypher.
They're going
long.
Z, they're going Z. There's one here in this corner. Wait,
However, the attackers have already adapted to our Sky's playstyle.
they're going Z, they're going Z. There's one here in this corner.
Okay.
They wait out Sky's info flash before peeking long and then rush B, catching Sky off guard and alone on site, securing B in moments.
Yep.
Stimid.
Notice how fast TenZ rotates when he realizes what the enemies are doing. He is the first one to react to Cypher's call and knife out sprints to help Sky on site.
80 on Jet. He's on top box.
130 raise, Hookah.
Spike planted.
I've got your trail.
I'm picking pocket.
Too long. Raise, chamber, sky.
Feeling sight.
Left.
Last player standing.
3.
There's a vandal right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is where the episode comes to a close. Farewell and GG. Stick around for more videos on this specific TenZ VOD.